Today on Miss Pursuit, I'm joined by Lisa McDonald from Southern Georgia. We talk about her favorite thing to hunt, which is birds, from turkey to pheasant, dove, all the way to ducks. We follow her through her seasons, hunting all over the United States. We also talk about training hunting dogs, and we talk a little bit about how important it is to hunt with the same sex. So join in and enjoy the conversation. All right. Thanks for tuning in to another Miss Pursuit podcast. Today we have Lisa McDonald with us. And I'm excited to hear from you, Lisa, because I've followed you for a while and I've got a dog mom heart. And you can feel that coming through your account 100%. Just the horses and dogs, I don't know. There's a little bit of a kindred spirit there. I know it 100%. But thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Okay, give us a little bit of background on you. We see you hunting and training, hunting dogs and waterfowl and shooting and all of that. But give us kind of a background, like how you got started in the outdoors. What did that look like?
Okay. Well, I'm from South Florida. I'm from Jupiter, Florida. And that is where I met my husband about 15 years ago, and he was always doing something outdoors, hunting, offshore fishing. That's how he was raised. Mm-hmm. So I kind of always went with him to most of his things with his friends and everything, and but never really participated, just kind of went along for the ride. And then almost 5 years ago, we moved to Southern Georgia, and we moved to the middle of nowhere. I don't have neighbors. I have one neighbor. Her name's Misty, and her husband Derek, and they are awesome. And it was kind of like one of those things where she hunted, and obviously all the guys around here hunt, and mm-hmm. I was the only one that didn't really do anything. So it kind of started with just not wanting to get left behind. Mm-hmm. And then my husband bought me my first shotgun, and we got a skeet machine, and he was like, well, just practice till you can hit something. And basically, once I figured it out, it's been just wide open ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say really quick. So people say all the time, I'm going to go shoot skeet. I'm going to go shoot skeet. I'm going to go, I shot skeet for the first time this year. It is not easy.
No.
It is not easy. Now I hit stuff, and I'm glad I hit stuff. But getting the hang of it in the beginning, I went from shooting deer standing still, with a crossbow to shooting something that is moving at a place that I can't really. It was very difficult in the beginning.
Yeah. Trust me, I went through probably 4 boxes of shells and a lot of not very nice words before I figured it out. But it was one of those things where, everyone can show you mm-hmm. and tell you how they do it. But until you get the feel for it, it's kind of like you just got to figure it out on your own,
100%. I learn best that way. I'm like, okay, give me the rules. Give me what I need to read. Let me figure it out, and then just leave me alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So you got your shotgun, and you got that all under your belt, and then it was downhill from there. Everything is.
Yeah. Pretty much from there. My husband's friend had a litter of boykins, and mm-hmm. he works with my husband, so he was out of town, and I ended up whelping the litter, and I kept a puppy off of that litter. That was Jake.
Yeah.
And then got invited on my first quail hunt. And then pretty much after that, every season I only hunt birds.
Okay.
That's all. And every bird season that opens, I'm somewhere chasing them.
Yeah. Yeah. You got a turkey, and I remember you saying that it's your favorite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Obviously this turkey season was kind of sad because I chose not to travel.
Mm-hmm.
So I just hunted here in Georgia. I didn't even go to Florida, so that was sad. But, I feel like maybe next turkey season it'll be more birds, less people traveled,
I agree. We have had, I think that I've posted this once or twice, and I don't want it to sound like a complaint because it's not a complaint. I think that it has been awesome that even throughout all of this, that thank goodness Tennessee has kept hunting essential. But it has placed, because we only hunt public land for the past year, well, less than a year. It's coming up on a year that we switched over to public land. But it has been so pressured with so many people out there right now that about 2 weeks ago, all of the birds just shut up. Like they were just, and I haven't even seen a tom this whole season. And we opened up at the beginning of April.
Wow.
And so it can be frustrating. But from everyone that I've heard, since this would be my first turkey that I would get, everybody that I've heard from, man, just wait. Just wait till you get it. Because it is, I don't know. I don't know what it's like to have a tom come strutting up. And I've seen hens, and I cannot tell you how much my heart pounds when a hen comes in that close and is chatting with me. But for a tom to come in, I'm going to lose my crap.
Yeah. I mean, once you, oh man, I just can't even explain the feeling.
Right?
You'll know
Yeah.
when it happens for you. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm excited. It's definitely been a frustrating year. And I know that, not being able to travel for you. And Florida has some beautiful turkeys.
Yes.
Like their turkeys are gorgeous.
Oh, yeah. I love all of them.
Yeah. Where else would you travel for turkeys? Georgia, Florida?
Kentucky.
Yeah.
Oklahoma. I was going to do Texas this year.
Ooh.
And Nebraska, and I was going to try and do South Dakota, but that obviously, I didn't draw a tag for that. So,
okay.
Yeah, but
I didn't know. I know I went to NWTF this year here in Nashville, which is a great show. I really love that show. And it opened up my eyes to the world of turkey. My husband has hunted turkey before. It's been a long time. And then last year was my first season to try and didn't get anything. But this is my first season to actually, I've been out probably 15 times.
That's awesome.
Which is great. I have learned so much. It's all solo. So it is trial and error. But like we talked about just a little bit ago, that's kind of how I like it.
Yeah.
I would love to probably be able to go and learn with somebody, just to see if I'm messing it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it.
But we're drawing straws. We've got kids home right now, and they have school. Like we still have to maintain a certain amount of schedule and things like that. So, but at NWTF, I met Kylie McCrae. Have you heard of?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, have you heard of Kylie?
Yes.
Okay, Kylie is adorable. Her heart. I'm hoping to have a conversation with her soon, just because she sat with my daughter for I don't know how long, talking about hunting, talking about bullying for my daughter hit a little bit of that at school this year, about bringing wild game to school for food, and just sat with her and loved on her. And to hear her story, I can't wait to hear all of the story, but just hearing little snippets of she loves her some turkey too.
Love it.
So I love seeing, I mean, we're kind of in turkey season right now and all in the hustle and bustle of it, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm hoping that this week or last week that something connects. But if it doesn't, it'll just make the desire that much more in the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just have more time to practice, but I hope it does happen for you for sure.
Yeah. Now, shotgun wise, did it take a while for you to figure out a shotgun that would work for you? Or was it just, hey, here's a shotgun that fits you and you've stuck with it?
Yeah, basically it was just, I didn't know anything about shotguns at that point. So it didn't really, it sounds ignorant, but it didn't really matter to me. I was going to learn whatever I had.
Yeah.
So he got me a Benelli M2 20 gauge.
Yeah.
And I shot my first 5 turkeys with that gun. And I love it to this day. I actually think I'm going to take it this duck season everywhere with me. It's just a really, really good gun. So, I was lucky enough that he kind of knew what I needed.
Yes.
To kind of get me started so I wouldn't scare myself or, just give up.
Right. No, but that's true. If you think about how you introduce somebody to hunting, whether you're a man introducing a woman to hunting, or you're a woman introducing another woman, or a child, or a man, like whoever you are introducing to hunting, the thing that you don't want to do is to scare them or pressure them to where they don't want to do it anymore. If there's that interest, then I don't know. I have shot shotguns that scare the mess out of me, and it does make me flinch. I have not found one yet. I've shot a Benelli, and it was beautiful and wonderful, and I really loved it. The one that I'm shooting right now, I think, did you see, it's been almost 2 weeks. I broke my cheekbone.
Oh my God.
On the stock. I'm 5'2". I'm not very long-armed, and so to get around a shotgun is really hard because you've got to get around it and on top of it to control it, right? But to do that and to reach the trigger is really hard on some of the older guns especially. And we just have the guns that my husband has had or his dad has had, and they've been passed down. And so we replaced the stock of my Mossberg with a collapsible stock.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens with that is the recoil, it distributes differently than with a wooden stock that doesn't move. So instead of moving alongside of your cheekbone, like back and forth, it butts up and down. And it nailed me and cracked my cheekbone in a spot. And so it has been, if I'm turkey hunting and I'm sitting down and I've got it on my knee, I can get behind it. So to look through the sight and line everything up, and I did it when we patterned it out. I can sit down and get behind it so that my cheek's not on it. But just standing, like for ducks and for all of that, it's difficult. It's really difficult. So finding something, and it's a 12 gauge. So it has.
How long is the barrel on the gun?
I'd have to look at that. I do not know.
Honestly, my 20 gauge has a youth stock on it.
Yeah.
And a shorter barrel. And I find I'm only 5'4", so I get the short problem.
Yeah.
And my husband shoots a a gun with a 28-inch barrel. And for ducks, it's almost a joke for me to be able to pick it up and shoot ducks as they're flying in, because it's like holding a broomstick. You know what I mean?
Right.
So maybe just, I mean, if you're ever, I know you're kind of far away from me, but if you're ever down in this area and you want to shoot, we've got a bunch of different types of shotguns, you know, come shoot anytime.
Thank you. That has, but that's, like you said, having somebody that knows about guns in the beginning to kind of help out, it makes a huge difference, right?
I just know what works for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like giving my opinion to a lot of people because sometimes that can backfire on you, but I know what works for me, and a lot of it's been trial and error, and that's okay, because I'll never forget the lessons for sure.
Exactly. I won't forget this one for sure. It's, but it shows you that each person is different. It's not like, I mean, I love people who put, hey, you need this gun out there. You need this gun out there. You need this for this. You need this for this. Like, that's great. And I love seeing all of the options out there, but what works for so-and-so might not work for me. Absolutely. And I think that that's something that, you know, no matter how expensive something is or high quality, it still might not work for you. So having those opportunities to go out and try different things. I shot a Benelli on the wild goose hunt that we went on this year, and the snow goose conservation hunt, and it was wonderful. I could get over it. It was something that I could handle. It was something that, so I know what would work. I know what would be comfortable. It's the finances of saving up for things like that. And that's just all a part of it. But finding it, like, once you find it, you're golden.
For sure.
But yeah, it can take a while. Finding a handgun, I tell you, was hard for me.
Yeah.
Not just for, I mean, there are a ton of handguns that I love to just shoot. My husband has a CZ that is absolutely amazing. It is smooth. It's a 9mm. It is smooth. It is easy to shoot. It is comfortable. It is just something that you can enjoy target shooting, but I can't carry that on my body in a concealed way. So finding something that would fit on me, that I felt comfortable with, that didn't feel too small or too big, or, you know, that it took time. And I had a great instructor who's a friend of ours who just lined guns up and said, here, try them all.
Yep.
And that's what it takes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to pull us back because I want to hear about some of your favorite hunts that you've gone on. Like you said, you just hunt birds.
Yes.
But there are a lot of birds and a lot of bird seasons out there. So what are some of your favorites?
Favorite to eat is going to be turkey and pheasant. And then I think most favorite to hunt, probably turkey and ducks.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and do a lot more upland stuff this coming season. And I think I've got like 11 duck hunts already scheduled. So
nice.
Hopefully we can all travel.
I hope so.
I'm going to try and, play with the rules and do good and not travel if they're asking us not to.
Right. Where all are you scheduled for duck hunting?
I'm sorry, I lost you.
Where are you scheduled for duck hunts?
Probably my first one is Texas.
Okay.
And then I'll go to Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Arkansas, Oklahoma. I think I'm going to go to Louisiana this year. I'll probably be in Texas 2 or 3 times, and possibly Nebraska.
Nice.
So we'll see.
Do you do So I went on a duck hunt this year. It was my first one. And Tennessee, in West Tennessee, there was an outfitter out there, and I mean, the water is beautiful where they are. I think we were spoiled rotten, because they were cooking for us in the blind. Like, it was beautiful. Hash browns, awesome. And I mean, it was just bacon, everything. It was wonderful. But I loved it. I loved being out there, but I've heard of so many people who also love, putting waders on and getting out there in the trees and hunting that way too. So is it a little bit of both, or are you mainly a blind duck?
Well, I've never hunted a blind where breakfast is made there, so
I was spoiled.
Really... Yeah, I mean, that sounds like the way to go.
Uh-huh.
Normally here in Georgia, it's all flooded timber, so you're in waders. I've hunted that way in Oklahoma. Pretty much everywhere I've hunted that way, but honestly, I've only been in a couple blinds, and those were at lodges. Which is a super fun time, but most of the time I just go and hunt with friends.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that was also my first group hunt.
Yeah.
And it was at Reelfoot Lake. If you're ever looking for breakfast in your blind, most of them do that at Reelfoot. When you find somebody, a good, like you said, lodge that you get into. But they were great. It was wonderful. But yeah, it'd be neat to get out there and shoot off the timbers and figure it out that way. I love that. And I think it goes over with whatever you're hunting. I love that there are so many different ways of doing it that you're never going to be bored.
No, I'm never bored. No. I will drive 24 hours to shoot 3 ducks. Like, yeah. I definitely, it makes me happy. I have a good time, and I just love it.
Yeah. Have you ever done snow goose?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Where were you for snow goose?
Both times Arkansas.
Okay. So this year we were right on the Arkansas-Missouri line. So, yes. We didn't know if we were going to be in Arkansas and we needed an Arkansas license or Missouri, even up until the night before, just because we were on that tail end of the shift up, as they go up. And I have to say that I really enjoyed that hunt. It was, I don't know if it was just the people that we were with, because we were with great people, but it was a fun hunt. Watching out for, I don't know, it being a conservation hunt, we could just shoot whatever snows came through. And so that was fun. But at the same time, we were in a dugout blind. So we weren't in the sitting or lounging chairs. But it was a blast. I really did. I think
that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's definitely fun.
It was fun. The duck hunt was my first hunt in a group, but it was also my first hunting with women.
That's cool.
So it has been a great it's been a great year for firsts. But I really did enjoy that snow goose hunt. I really enjoyed eating the snow goose, which I was surprised of.
Yeah, I mean, they're not my favorite, but they're edible.
Yeah, it truly is. Whatever you are cooking in wild game, it's how you cook it.
Yes,
and I think that we're not a shoot and waste it kind of family. So you have to get creative. It is much more gamey. But I do like that it's less greasy than duck.
Yes.
So it has its amazing points to it. But yeah. Okay. So your favorite hunts are duck hunts and turkeys. So take me on a few of Like, has there been one that you can just pull off the top of your head that you were like, this happened, I will never forget it?
Probably out of all the hunts was my birthday hunt last year in Arkansas. All diver ducks, all goldeneye.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just on the side. We were in the Ozark Mountains, literally on the side, sitting on the side of a mountain. And it was probably the most fun I've ever had on a duck hunt.
Uh-huh.
Super fast. Just, it started snowing. It was so beautiful. I was there with, all my family and friends, and it was just really, really, really cool.
The Ozarks are gorgeous.
Yeah, I've never been to a more beautiful place to duck hunt in my life. And I know everyone's like, oh, they're diver ducks, I don't care.
No.
Anything that flies, I'm game.
Well, and it is, if you think about it, where you are, okay. So I'm not experienced like others in duck hunting and waterfowl, but of all of the pictures, I mean, there's some beautiful, beautiful spots to duck hunt. And I've been to the Ozarks. I think we were canoeing. We were not hunting. This was a long time ago, but I'm from West Tennessee, so we butt up against the Arkansas border. And so getting over there isn't that difficult. And so getting there and looking, it has been, I'm almost 40. So in my lifespan, that has been one of my favorite places to be. Colorado is probably right after that. But the Ozarks are gorgeous.
Oh my gosh. It was so beautiful. I can't even explain it. Like, it was life-changing.
I'm glad. I'm very glad. So with bird hunting, you do get both solo and group hunts.
Yes.
So which ones, like, are you more of a social person and you would love that group hunt, but you love turkey hunting, which it's more solo or partner hunting?
Yeah, this year, mostly turkey hunting, unless I'm, traveling somewhere with my friends. I'm always by myself.
Yeah.
Just because that's the way it works out. But I do love hunting with other people.
Mm-hmm.
I do love good company. But I'm not really a super, super social person. I don't need people to be happy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain it. So I could go somewhere by myself and hunt and be totally fine with it. But I also like having the people that are close to me with me.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. Duck hunting has always been told to me as the social hunting of all of everything that you've got out there, like bird hunting, duck hunting, pheasant, dove. Like, you just always see big groups of people together and they're hanging out. My brother-in-law was a huge duck hunter, and it was something that he used in business as well. Like, hey, clients, let's go duck hunting. Let's go. And it was a way to socialize and conversate and create relationships. Whereas for the past 6 years, I've been deer hunting solo. Like, this was my first year to group hunt or hunt with anybody else. This was way outside my comfort zone. I really enjoy solo hunting. I hate to use the word escape, but it is kind of that. It's my way out of the hustle and bustle and stressful life, and it gets me out in a way, and I can kind of be still and quiet.
Yeah.
So, I'm kind of with you. I can do both. I can enjoy both. I have a great time with both. But if I still had the choice, I really love solo hunting.
Me too.
Yeah. I think I get to sit back and learn. I don't know. There are fears that I have to overcome solo hunting. that I feel like I grow more from.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Now, with these groups, are you hunting with women and men, mostly men?
I mean, obviously mostly men because that's the majority of the hunting world.
Yeah.
But I mean, my friend Misty comes with me everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a couple other girlfriends that that'll tag along. And this coming season, me and a couple of my friends put together some women's hunts. So they're like all women.
Awesome.
You know, I mean, I get a lot of kind of, I don't know what the right word is, judgment from a lot of people. I got a lot of private messages and stuff when I posted those women's hunts because men were upset that we were promoting women only. And I think that those men are the reason why we want to have women only hunts.
Yeah. I get that.
Kind of like the know-it-all, I've been hunting my whole life. Let me show you how to do it type situation instead of just hanging out and having a good time,
Yep.
So that part kind of stinks because, everyone's so judgmental on social media.
Yeah. I think that you always have those people, right, that the grass could be greener or I can teach you something, right?
Yes.
And I don't want this to sound bad, but women put together women-only hunts because you can relax just a little bit and be just around women and you don't have to worry about certain things. But B, you also have, and this is the bigger one for me, there's not as much fear of asking the wrong question.
Yes. And I've seen that. I've been with girls and they're kind of like not really feel comfortable enough to ask a question. And then after everything's over, then, they ask me and I'm like, you don't have to be afraid to ask, just ask. But
right.
A lot of people don't have strong personalities to where they'll just come out and ask. And women or men can be not so nice, but I think it's more intimidating for a woman to ask a man a question that's been hunting his whole entire life. You don't want to feel stupid, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, and it would go vice versa. If you had a mixed group of people and you have a gentleman who's out there who has not hunted as much as the other men out there, do you think he's going to stand in front of a group of men and women and easily ask a question? No. It's there's freedom to grow.
Yes.
When you are in a single sex group and it's not against the other group, it's not against, I love hunting with men. I do, but I also feel like you said, if I had asked that question at the beginning, I probably would have enjoyed the hunt more, or I would have been more successful, or if I had asked it along the way, I probably would have, been able to apply it versus asking at the end and having to wait till next season. You know what I mean? It's there's just a little bit of freedom, and it goes both ways. I think that there's a sense of pride from both sides that I wouldn't necessarily want to ask. How there are questions that I have asked women who Western hunt, who hunt for long periods of time, weeks at a time, for elk or for bear or for whatever they're hunting for. And there are questions like, well, if you get your period out there, what do you do? Right? And those are questions that I can't just ask anybody. And there are valid answers to that. Like, okay, you have to bury things. You have to take things with you that are biodegradable so that you can bury them. You can't carry them out because you could be stalked by something that could hurt you. Like, there are legitimate answers to these major questions, but if you don't ask them or you don't feel like you can ask them, then you could actually get hurt. And the same goes with gun handling, with bow handling, with like whatever you are utilizing to take an animal down. You should not have hesitation in asking questions, because it can backfire and it can hurt somebody. So, I think that those same-sex hunts are vital to growth. And I think, or at least having somebody that you can feel comfortable enough asking those questions to.
Yeah, and I don't really see the problem with it. I mean, men have been hunting with men for however long. So what's wrong with women hunting with women?
Yeah.
It's nothing personal. It's just maybe the women want to catch a break from the men just as much as the men want to catch a break from the women, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. It's as if we would go and have a spa day somewhere. It's just we like hunting.
Yes. That's exactly what it is.
So I agree with that. And I think that there are things that I learned from both, right? I think that there are major things that I can take away from the men that I hunt with, as well as the women that I've hunted with. And I'm grateful for both of those.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yep. Okay. I want to switch over into one of my favorite conversations I think that's going to happen. Let's talk about hunting dogs.
Oh boy.
Yes. Because your dogs are beautiful.
Thank you.
And very talented. And so how did you even begin training them?
Well, my dog trainer basically is the most amazing person on this planet. He's basically, if I have a problem, I just text him. He teaches me. He spends time with me, how to fix problems, how to start dogs without creating problems.
Right.
I'm definitely not a dog trainer by any means. I don't ever advertise myself as a dog trainer. I'm just someone who plays with puppies from 8 weeks up and just does a lot of repetition.
Right.
I love it. It makes me happy. When they start learning things and they really know how to do them, it's the most gratifying feeling ever.
Yeah.
I started Jake, but I didn't really have a lot of knowledge. I just kind of knew the basics. And then he went to my dog trainer for 4 months and came back, and we just started hunting right out of training, and we had a lot of problems, a lot of things I didn't know, but we fixed them all. And I've learned a lot since Jolene was born. I mean, Jolene, I could probably hunt her right now.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just so smart, but I also spend 4 hours a day with her, broke up through the day working on, things that she needs to get better at.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a lot of time dedicated to these dogs.
Yeah, it is. And it's those first, so we have a 6-month-old puppy. She is by no means a hunting dog. Like, there is oranges and apples. But it has been a long time since I've had a puppy. And I mean, it's been 16 years since I've had a puppy. And so remembering how vital even the first few weeks are with a puppy, all came rushing back. Just with, like you said, building up good habits and trying to squash out the bad ones that start, or even not even starting those, because I don't know. I've just noticed the first 6 months have been so vital to what you will have for the rest of their lives.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just like human kids. I just don't have human kids. So my dogs are my human kids.
Do you know, we adopted a dog when it was a year into our marriage, and we didn't have kids for another 5 years. And when we finally did have kids, there was a lot of comparison to raising the puppy.
Oh, yeah.
A lot. I think we always laughed. The only thing is we couldn't kennel them, and they actually kenneled themselves. They would get into the kennel with the dogs. Like it was, there was a lot of comparison, but I will tell you, it has coming back to puppy training has been a whole lot of fun this year. Just watching them grow, like you said, seeing those small successes that they have is gratifying, and it brings joy, and there's excitement with it. You were saying the other day, oh, I think she pointed, and you're like, I think we've got another pointer.
Yes.
It's exciting to see that.
Yeah, and that's actually considered a flaw in a flushing dog breed.
Oh, no.
But I don't care because my dogs put food on my table.
Yeah.
So I want a single dog that can do everything. So I can take one dog. I'm not hauling 4 dogs.
Right.
So for me, it's a tool. I get a lot of heat on Facebook and stuff because she was pointing. Well, you know what? It works for me and I don't care. Like I'm not in someone else's business. So
yeah,
let me do my own thing. You know what I mean?
Well, and it's like every person hunts differently, right? So what works for you, you're training your dog and you're loving your dog and your dog is working for you. And what works for you guys as a team is going to be different than everybody else. So
right. And I'm not chasing ribbons. I've never been good at like following rules and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just want food on my table.
Yeah.
That's the end result that I'm looking for. So you know what? It just doesn't matter. I don't care.
Now,
I'm just going to do what I want anyway.
How much do you say works? So having a second with a first already trained, how has that worked? Because we've seen with our older dog, there have been habits that she has picked up in a good way from him. But she's also picked up some bad ones from him as well. So how does that work with training? Have they been good for each other, or have you noticed a little bit of both sides of it coming out?
So far, just good. Jake really doesn't have any bad habits. He's never destroyed anything. He listens very, very well. So having him for her, is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, she saw him point 3 times and watched him point and then flush. And then the 4th time I just made him hold the point and sent her to a flush and she flushed it. I mean, she doesn't know what that is. She's just doing it because
she saw him
do it. So now if Jolene was the teacher for another dog, it would be a whole other hot mess express right there.
That's time and experience. Maybe it'll happen one day.
She's just wild. And Jake is very calm and stoic, and she's just wide open and just 100 miles an hour all the time.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but she's definitely entertaining.
That's they bring us joy. They are working dogs, but it's more than that. I mean, ours are not working dogs. So the newest one kind of popped into our laps unexpectedly, and we're grateful for her. And she has been constantly, I see, like my mom has raised dogs our whole entire life. And then when we left, she trained a therapy dog that could go into places. And she did. She went into hospitals. She went into counseling places. Like she went all over. And I'm seeing attributes in this younger pup that are very similar to my mom's therapy dog that she has used going out places. And so I think from very early on, seeing that has also triggered my mind in how to train her. Like no jumping, no mouthing, like there are a lot of no's. And I think people can see that like coming into training situations, whether you're training a hunting dog or you're training a therapy dog or you're training a dog that's a service dog of some sort, in the military, like any kind of dog that you're training, people can look inside and they can see, oh, that's harsh, or oh, you're saying no a lot. Oh, and I mean, there are rewards, there are great sides to it, but there's also stern. Like you're the boss, you're the alpha, right?
Yes.
And so I think that people misread training hunting dogs. I think that it can be controversial for people who aren't in the hunting world. And I think that they just don't see the side where they are completely spoiled, rotten, and loved as well.
Oh my gosh, I agree.
Yeah. I think it's something that and in our community, it's something that we celebrate and we love. But as you say, you also get the criticism. And then on the outside of the hunting world, man, you can probably get a whole lot of criticism.
Yeah, I used to get really bothered by everything that people had to say. And now I just don't care because it's not going to change what I do. It's just their opinion. And that's okay. You can have an opinion.
Exactly. Yep.
It's not going to change my life any.
No, it's not. And I think the older I get, the more I could care less. It's like, hey, this is me. I wish that my 20-year-old self had what I've got now. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I wish that confidence and that assuredness and just don't give a crap attitude could have been portrayed back then. I've learned a lot along the way, but yeah, I'm excited to see how Jolene does. I've been following her.
Yes, she actually is going to go to training the end of this month, so she'll be gone for a couple months.
Yeah.
So that'll be very sad, but I might be getting a new puppy, so that'll take the place of her for a couple months.
Yeah. A good distraction while you're missing her, for sure.
Yes.
And puppies aren't, they are not easy. So it is definitely a full-time job sometimes.
Yeah, I'm slowly becoming the crazy brown dog lady.
I love it. But you also have horses out there, and
yes.
And those are also the love of your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have retired horses at this point, cutting horses, reining horses, my first horse, and I've got some miniatures and some Shetland ponies.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And they love it out there, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely nice and peaceful here.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody complains.
Yeah. It's nice to have a spot, like you said, you moved to the middle of nowhere, but it fits everything that you have kind of pulled into your life. And I think that that's important. You know, with every life choice that we make, we have lived in, I don't know how many places. We've lived in DC. We've lived all over just with my husband's job. And we've changed houses with every lifestyle that we have moved into. But I will be excited. We've always said we're raising kids so that they'll be independent and leave. My fingers are crossed that they will actually do this, because we are training them to be good citizens of this world and be involved in it and leave our home. And we say that in a joking way, but it's completely true. Like, we are raising them to leave and be a part of society. But I'm excited for that, because that means we can sell our house in this community that we have grown to love, but feels tight because of schools. Like, we're here because of great schools, but it would be really great to get out where we can stretch our arms and not have people so close, and have some land that we can hunt and live on. So it's whatever works for you in that time. But everything that I've seen on your account is beautiful.
Thanks.
It works together. It flows together. It just seems like you guys have known exactly what you need and want. And and it has all fit together. And I know that it's hard work, and like, I'm not discrediting that. It's not the storybook perfect Instagram world, but you work hard for that, and it shows that there's happiness there.
Oh yeah. My Instagram page is just what I'm doing in my life at that time, and the people that want to join in and follow, cool, and the people that not, that's okay too.
Yeah, keep going. Just pass on by.
You have a choice to follow or not follow,
Yeah. Yep.
It just doesn't matter to me. I feel like people who get really, really wrapped up in Instagram and social media, it's almost like a disease.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. It can be that way. I had a podcast just released yesterday with Stacey Sutherland, and we talked big time about authenticity and being transparent. Because if you are on Instagram and if you do have followers, whether it's 5 or 100,000, you're still responsible for portraying truth, right?
Yes.
And that's an important part of it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. It's if you're going to put it out there, then I think choosing only the good is not a great representation. We don't have to air our dirty laundry by any means, but it doesn't need to be all rainbows, and because that's not what life is.
That's not my life for sure. My dogs are a hot mess, and I'm a hot mess.
Yeah.
And that's just my real life.
Yeah. And I think that I appreciate that from people out there who do that, just because it is, it's real, and it's something that I can look in and see. Whether you're a new hunter or an experienced hunter, you can look in, because there's always comparison. There's always, when you look over people's accounts or people's lives that they put out there, it's like, man, they're doing that. And it can either be a good encouragement to push yourself or to see things that you haven't tried yet that you would like to try. Like, it can be a good thing, but it can also be a negative thing. So I think that social media done well is good.
It's fun.
Yeah. Yep. It's a way to connect. It's a way to connect to other women for me in the hunting community, because I don't have that many people around me.
Yes.
And I think that's where that encouragement comes from, and that push to do more, that push to try something new. That's what I get out of it. And it's encouraging to me. So hopefully that can continue. But yeah, I'm excited to see how Jolene does. I will be excited to hear about this new puppy. And is turkey season over in Georgia yet?
It will be in 3 days.
Okay. We're very similar. Ours is the 17th. So
yeah,
then you'll be prepping. Sad. You'll be prepping for what's next. Pheasant and dove?
Well, dove and quail will open back up in September here. And then I'll go to Texas for early teal.
Okay. Well, we'll be keeping up with you. I'm excited. I'll be excited to see what the seasons have in store. Hey, does Georgia have a fall turkey?
No.
Okay. We do. We open up. Fall turkey is archery only here, and you can only take one bird, one tom. Strictly archery only, and it opens with archery deer.
Yeah, that's normally fall turkey. I go to Kentucky.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Man. Okay.
Things to look forward to.
Exactly. There's always something in the hunting world. We've got squirrel that just opened up, so that will be open while we're waiting on other things. But yeah. Hey, Lisa, thank you for hanging out with me today and just chatting it up. I've loved learning. I love getting to know people and how they've begun, and how much they love what they do. And it shows, and I appreciate that.
No, well, thank you for having me, and thank you for being so sweet all the time. It's really nice.
Well, you are welcome, and I just hope it is always seen as sincere, because that is what it is.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening in. And you can go follow Lisa on Instagram. Go find her at Lisa McDonald.